Welcome back once again, all, for the third and final part of our missing song here, and that's going to be right up here under the great big gigantic Hebra Peak. Right under this great big overhang part of the peak there. And my preferred method of travel in the snow is, of course, the snow boots. And I really like the Xant's helmet. It came with the DLC. And that makes you unfreezable. And then, of course, a shirt for cold protection, along with a fire-based weapon. And that'll give you a high level of cold protection. Alright, so away we go. Now, there's actually a shrine up there as well. And of course, in my walkthrough, I'm not quite that far into my game yet. But, you know, you don't have to go through all this if you've already been up there and you've already got that shrine done. And I can't remember the names of these shrines. They're way too complicated for me to even pronounce. But, it's a major test of strength at the end of the day, so you could always just warp up there for quicker travel. The reason I like to do the Rito Village part of the missing songs or the Champions Ballad or whatever first is because that updraft is my favorite of all the superpowers you get from the Divine Beasts. And the fact that thing recharges in like a minute and a half is freaking amazing. I already loved the thing, and it only takes 5 minutes to recharge. And as fast as it recharges after this is all done and said, it's just amazing. Alrighty, so we're almost there. Just got a little bit of rock climbing to do here. Actually, I'm just going to do this to speed things up for y'all. Speaking of speeding things up, I'm also going to eat a speed boost. Nice high-level speed elixir. I think we'll even get an updraft coming up here. A free one, I should say. And not quite, apparently. Gotta be close to it. There we go. Alright, so that'll really boost you up here, as you can see. And you should be able to see the ring of light by now. Pretty close, if not by now, definitely on my screen. And while we're up here, I'm just going to go ahead and activate that travel gate on that shrine real quick. No. Uh-oh. Forgot about him. Alright, we'll be back later for that major test of strength. So for now, let's just go ahead and get this challenge done. Now this one is a little tricky. I really like the speed meal just because you really got to be on the move here for these guys. Some of them you got plenty of time to get down here, but other ones are awful close on their timing. So do bear that in mind. Use your discretion whether you want to eat the meal or not, or the elixir in this case. So it's basically just like playing tag. I think at some point we're going to be having some extra monsters popping up. Oh, and another little fun fact about this challenge. It's probably better to do it during the daylight hours. At night you'll have some extra monsters popping up. Some ice bats and stall monsters, things like that nature. So I do notice that during the daylight hours this is a lot easier. Probably should have said that off, back in the beginning, but either way, now you know. Okay, so there's an example of one that was really closely timed. I almost didn't make it. And when you get to the big fat one, you are DU done. Okay, so once you get through that, shrine will appear. My only complaint about these extra shrines is you're doing shrines, but you don't get any spirit orbs for your trouble. I was really hoping that these DLCs that we purchased would close out the last 3 either heart containers or stamina vessels that we were missing this whole time. At least we got 4 spirit orbs out of the Great Plateau portion of this whole deal. It's better than nothing, I suppose, but we're still missing 2. And I want my last 2, doggone it. So hey, programmers, if you're listening, I'll pay extra for another DLC if I can close out my heart containers and stamina vessels for 2 complete rows of heart containers and 3 full stamina wheels. In the form of shrines or whatever, you pick, dealer's choice. Alright, so first things first in the shrine, go ahead and take that updraft, and you got a little block here. We're going to use an ice block to jump up on top of. And then break said ice block and use another one to boost yourself up like an elevator. And that's your treasure chest. Now I'm not going to get it because I remember it being something I really didn't want, but it's there if you so desire. Alright, so from here, we're going to go down where all these magnesis blocks are, or metal blocks, or whatever you want to call these things. We're going to go ahead and put these 2 together. They want to be besties, make them besties. And same thing with these 2 down here. Okay, that'll get your ball rolling, pretty much to where it needs to be there. Then what we're going to do, well, we're not quite ready for that yet, stand by. Okay, then what we're going to do is we're going to make a little staircase for that ball once it gets to this little spot. So just kind of use your imagination there to make 2 ice blocks to where the ball can kind of bounce and roll down into the next little portion there. Once you got your ice blocks squared away, okay, we're going to use stasis, not just yet. We're just going to get ready for that flapper thingy down there. So when the ball gets within range of that thing, just go ahead and turn it on. Ball should roll across, bounce, bounce, roll, and give it a second. It'll kind of set itself up for you. Once it holds nice and still, depress the switch, and ball should go in hole, and folks, we are all set. Alright, so that's going to take care of the 3 little portions of this next challenge. Once we finish this shrine, go ahead and meet back up at the Va Mado Divine Beast.